stakeholders are. And we are here to serve the authors, reviewers, readers, editorial assistants, fellow editorial team, and our field, servant leadership, and we take that seriously. I know that's simple, walk the talk, but sometimes seeing specific examples can be an important catalyst for learning old lessons. Sometimes specific examples can be an important catalyst for learning old lessons. So this goes for if you're going to publish it, you have to live it. If you're going to publish it, you have to do it, promote it, talk it. And I've learned most of what I've learned through mentoring through practicing servant leadership. All right. We will have questions at the end. Thanks for hanging in there, Timothy. All right, similarities. So, as I said, my background is servant leadership, and I learned in looking at and doing a little bit of research on mentoring that they're very similar. So, as a mentor, I think important are listening, empathy, caring, understanding where they're coming from, awareness of their needs, the protege's needs, foresight to understand where they might be headed, words you can say that can help where they're going, the roadblocks you might need to help remove as they're going, commitment to the growth of the individual, building community. All these are great words, I think, touch on mentoring very importantly. Interestingly, though, if you come from a background of servant leadership, you will notice these as 6 of Larry Spears' 10 characteristics of servant leadership: listening, empathy, healing, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship, helping people grow, community building. These are Larry Spears' 10 characteristics of servant leadership. There is no one list of characteristics. There are several that are held in high regard. Jim Long, 1999, has valuing people, building community, providing leadership, developing people, displaying authenticity, sharing leadership. Bob Wyden et al., emotional healing, creating value for the community, helping subordinates grow and succeed, conceptual skills, putting subordinates first, behaving ethically, empowering. That one about putting subordinates first may be one of the most controversial parts about servant leadership, because we ask often here as professors in servant leadership, if I put my subordinates first, am I necessarily subordinating the organization's goals? And can an organization, especially a for-profit organization, can it survive if I'm subordinating the organization's goals to my people's goals? So I like to concentrate and focus on multiple stakeholders, understanding the organization's goals, and understanding the people's needs that work for you. And as I said at the beginning, that's why I like to say that servant leadership really needs not be more than being serious about meeting the organization's goals while caring deeply about helping your people develop and become all that they can do. And then finally, Van Dierendock and Nugent, they have another set of characteristics of servant leadership: empowerment, standing back, letting sometimes your followers take the lead; authenticity, interpersonal acceptance; humility, courage, stewardship, accountability. Again, some key words that are almost synonymous also with mentoring: listening, empathy, awareness, foresight, helping people grow, helping subordinates grow and succeed, providing leadership, behaving ethically, empowering, developing people, valuing people, accountability, empowerment, and interpersonal acceptance. So, as I was looking through similarities between servant leadership and mentoring, I thought, well, maybe I actually started to think maybe they're the same thing. But quickly I remembered a training that leadership has a vision, a place we want to go. Leadership by definition, a leader has a vision of what the future would or could be, and works with his followers to buy into and achieve that vision. A good leader understands where we are now, where we want to be, and how we're going to get there differently. And by the way, my new friend Doug Lawrence, I saw you were there. Hope that you're still there. This touches on what we were talking about this morning. Mentoring, leadership, coaching. And I totally agree with what you said this morning, Doug, about mentoring and coaching. And I assume you're talking like career coaching, life coaching, professional coaching versus sports coaching. To quote Doug, certified mentor and certified mentor facilitator, to quote Doug, for me, Doug says, mentoring is longer term, more focused on the personal growth, requires the creation of a trusted and deep relationship, and is a two-way relationship where both parties are going to learn and grow personally and professionally. By contrast, he said that a coach, well, by contrast, what I said to Doug was the coaching relationship compared to the mentoring relationship is probably going to be more transactional. And like Doug said, I think he implies that the mentor is going to invest probably more time, build longer-term relationships, and also through the process probably learn a lot out of it. Now, the coach might too, and Doug was careful in saying that again, quoting Doug Lawrence, certified mentor and certified mentor facilitator. Doug says, I think that when you have a coach and a mentor in the room, they will agree to disagree on what the actual definition is for both. I believe, says Doug, that the ideal state in an organization has both coaches and mentors on hand with the ability to hand off when a coach is better equipped to deal with the situation and vice versa. So the leader shares a vision, gets his people to buy into the vision, brings his people along with that vision. The mentor, on the other hand, is going to not walk ahead of you and show you how they do it, but walk alongside you and show you what you can do. The difference between a mentor and a coach, well, we talked about that. Didn't we talk about that? Thank you. Moving on. Differences. So they're similar, but they're different. All right, some other things I learned. If you're going to build an organization, if you're going to mentor an organization, you should probably build a culture. To mentor a group or organization, build a culture. If you think about it, as an organization grows, the leader's ability to build a personal relationship with each team member diminishes. Right? I mean, Daniel, Jesus had only 12 in his small group. A positive mentoring culture within an organization must be built. It cannot be expected to just evolve. I asked Kelvin Red, a big name in servant leadership, especially here in Columbus. Everyone says they love him when they hear the name Kelvin Red. I asked him, how do you do that? How do you build a culture of servant leadership? His answer was easy. Coach the coaches. Coach the coaches. I think his point is if you coach the coaches and they buy into servant leadership, it can be easy for them to coach their followers and have them buy into servant leadership. So if you're going to build an organization, if you're going to mentor with an organization, create a culture. But I go back to if you're going to mentor an individual, build a relationship. I think that too often people throw that word mentoring around. As an example, transactionally, when I was hired here at Columbus State University, and this has been the practice with our prior department chair, the new hire would come in, and we'd have our new hire, we'd have our meeting with the faculty, and the new hire would hear, Dr. Phil, Dr. Hooney is your mentor. He will show you how to use the fax machine, how to use the Xerox machine. Boy, those are some old terms. How to send a carrier pigeon if you need to. Gosh, what are some things we do now? We still use the scan drawing machine, right? But very transactional, right? I mean, Dr. Phil, Dr. Hooney is your mentor, and that would be a very transactional relationship. Servant leadership requires that relationship. That quote about servant leadership doesn't have to be more than being serious about meeting the organization's goals, while caring deeply about helping the people develop and become all that they can professionally, all that they can be professionally. That comes from a conversation I had with a friend on LinkedIn. He asked, see if I have his exact words. He asked if one's personality may hinder the ability to become the servant leader that they truly want to be. Can my personality hinder my ability to become that servant leader that I really want to be? He said, Dr. Silly, you know me. He said, my personality is described by the word gravitas. He and I both have PhDs, so I said, sure, man, gravitas. Look it up. Same root word as grave. Serious, grave, gravitas. And he knows me. My personality might be more lighthearted, playful. Levity. Color knows that I play hard at work and I work hard at play. And so he was asking, yes, in a way, he was asking, can I do what you do, having such a different personality? One of the things that most lists of servant leadership include is this level of authenticity, guiding people, providing leadership, and helping people develop. As long as you're doing that, if you're being authentic about who you are, you understand, I'm a great dude, versus I'm a white dude. If you're being authentic, truly valuing people, providing leadership, and helping people develop, you are well on your way to servant leadership, well on your way to servant mentoring. So we talk about in class all the time that authenticity. It can easily be seen through. I wrote on servant leadership. I wrote on LinkedIn. If or the day that I approach mentoring as merely a responsibility, something as opposed to a relationship, that is the day that I should stop mentoring. It's actually difficult. Mentoring, servant leadership. I've noticed, okay, so, and again, this very much touches on what we talked about. On servant leadership, again, on LinkedIn, I was looking at multiple roles that leaders play, multiple roles that mentors play, and we find ourselves as leaders, mentors, coaches, followers, fathers and husbands. And I looked up in 1970, Robert Greenleaf coined the phrase servant leader. In going chronologically, 2013, Michael Gregory wrote a book about the servant manager. In 2014, as I mentioned, Nathaniel Pearson wrote an article about the servant mentor. Chris Schrader, 2015, wrote a book about the servant coach. And so we can attach this word to whatever we want. I did an internet search. People have used the words servant parent and servant husband. I will tell you, as I have taken this responsibility of this role as servant leader, as I've taken it seriously over the last 6 to 18 months, depending on when you want to start counting, I sometimes get nervous when I hear those terms, servant father and servant husband, because I've got one son at home who I feel like sometimes believes that my service here may come at a detriment to the family. So just a little bit of authenticity and humility there, letting you know the roadblocks, challenges. But that gets us actually to our last bullet point, a fun bullet point for me, sustainability. 110 done is not sustainable. Done. Right. That John over there is a little bit younger. I think he can sustain 110 more so than John and I. But people talk about 110%, giving 110%. Can't do it. Mathematically, you can't do it. Logically, you can't give 110%. But metaphorically, we can go 110 miles an hour. We talk about it all the time. I was talking to John the other day. John, I'm tired. Working hard. He's tired. I'm tired. We sit there and talk about how tired we are. It's unsustainable. What you see in this picture, is a powerful, fast, torquey, Danielle, quick machine, resting peacefully and confidently in a park-like setting. And I say that, I added the word confidently at the end because it takes a confident leader to be able to confidently step back and say, I'm going to take the weekend off. I'm going to take the week off. I'm going to take the next 10 minutes off, folks. You know, if you get here at 5, knock on my door because I might just be napped. 110 is unsustainable. But I think having that confidence with your company, that if I'm away, I don't have to prove anything to myself, and I also am confident that my team has got it under control. And a lot of people don't get there. A lot of managers, I was there, a lot of managers don't get there. Right now, they're away. You've seen it where you used to work, and they get nervous that things must not be going well because I am not there. So, all right. Now, finally, if y'all are still there, then are you getting indications that they are still there? No, we don't know? Yes, you are. They're still alive. Cool. All right. Thank you. Thank you, 7 people, for staying. This has been brought to you by the International Mentoring Association in partnership with Servant Leadership Theory and Practice, the Turner College of Businesses only. John, you can hold up if you want to peer-reviewed journal. Love to take questions. And
I have a few questions that we can start with.
All right.
I'm having to wait and see if any others come in.
Doug, right, you're still there? Who else is there? Go ahead, Damien.
Okay, so first question is, you mentioned competing interests. How does the servant leader ensure that they're leading correctly and not just granting wishes to followers?
Okay, yeah, so that is a nexus with that question about, well, to me, it falls into multiple stakeholders. And we talked last night in class, and Danielle, you might want to help answer that question. Danielle is one of my MSOL students. Master's in Science and Organizational Leadership at Columbia State University, where we have a track in Human Resource Management aligned by SHRM, first one aligned by SHRM in Georgia, as well as a Servant Leadership program. Ask the question again so you can hear it so I can remember it.
Okay, question again is, how does the servant leader ensure that they're leading correctly and not just granting wishes?
Not just granting wishes, right. All right, so shared vision. We talked about that last night in class. The class was about, we had a guest speaker, Kelly Parker. Thanks for joining us again, Kelly, and talking with us about multiple stakeholders. And I think that what I got out of it was that if you can create, as a leader, a shared vision, then it's easy to have those conversations about your needs versus your wants. It's often helpful, Dorothy, to bring in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And maybe I can't help you self-actualize today, but I can meet you where your need is. I think that the organization is paramount. It may not be first. There's also a phrase, by the way, in servant leadership about the first among equals. The first among equals, you'll find that in the Supreme Court, in the United States Supreme Court, where the Chief Justice is called the first among equals. John, what's the Latin of that? Primus,
inter
service. All right.
I can't ask that.
Please, I would love to have.
Okay. Well, Eric mentioned something yesterday. Eric Anderson yesterday. He said, "Healthy may not be happy," and that speaks to what are the needs of your followers and your organization. Whereas every day we have choices to make, and sometimes what the follower wants and what the follower is asking you, their wishes, granting those wishes may actually be hurting the follower or hurting the organization. So, making the distinction between what do they need and what do they want.
What do they need? What do they want? And how do we fit in that shared vision of the organization? When we talk about multiple stakeholders, and how do you, if one stakeholder says, I need this, the other says, I need that, if you have a shared vision that you've built as a team, it makes the conversation so much easier to say, what's our vision as an organization, and how are we going to get there together, and what are the needs? Danielle, what else you got?
Okay, I have one other question.
All right.
This one might be tough. So you mentioned that it might be risky to love your employees. Can you explain a little bit more about what does it look like to love your employees as a servant leader?
All right. What does it look like to love your employees as a servant leader? I was hoping you'd ask me the easier question. Tell me about the risks. What does it look like? Gosh, a couple of years ago, I went to a dear friend of mine, and I asked him, I said, I don't know what love is. I don't know what it feels like. I don't know. It's something that you grow into. What does it look like? It looks like a lot of time, a lot of energy. What does it look like?
I think your example of when students come to you I think your example that you've given before when students come to you and they whirlwind into your office like a tornado and I need attention and go look, and you tell them sometimes, just sit down, now breathe, just sit.
Sit, breathe, maybe close your eyes, envision the cool head there.
I think that is showing that you care for that person, right, which is showing them love.
Showing you care, and also it gets messy because spending the time and just every time you have the opportunity to make somebody's life better, take it unless it can be too much of a hindrance on yourself or your family. Good question. What else you got, Ms. Danielle?
That's all I have right here. We may have a question from Tiffany. I can't tell. Can you click down the question for us and see if that's a question for us?
Yeah, here?
Yeah.
Tiffany, there's a hi, there's her hand. Does that mean she has a question?
Put the word in the exclamation point.
Gotcha. No? Yes? Here.
There you go. Oh, here we go.
Sorry, working on it. We'll wait for more people to join. Feel free to ask questions. All right. Well, we have actually spent time. How do I get the camera back? Yeah. There we go. All right. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so plenty of time. We're here. What does it look like to love your followers? It looks like bringing this to every meeting. Water. It's water. It looks like lining up. I would bring you to every meeting. You can use your money, you can use your organization's money, but just what would I want? Look, most religions in the world have the same mantra. They don't have the same beliefs, they have the same mantra. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So whoever asked that question, that's my answer to that. What does it look like to love others? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Does it look like there are no further questions?
There are no further questions from participants, it looks like. We could generate a few more.
Well, I mean, I don't know that, I'll tell you this in the silence. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, Dr. Phil. Also, Servant Leadership Theory and Practice is off to print right now. Volume 3, Issue 1. Let us know if you want copies. Go to slppjournal.org. There you will find our contact information, which is editors@slppjournal.org. What's that? Hit what? Click the hand again. Right there. Double click. There's it. See? Is it?
Actually, I think it's great.
No. So how do we get her to do that?
What was the name there?
Tiffany. This would be Teresa.
Okay.
Yes, that's a
All right.
That's what we will try to get to your question.
Tessa, are you here on the line with us?
No.
No, okay, with the hands raised, I thought maybe she was asking the question.
All right. So as I was